Let's get your take then on the quarter that has passed. What's your key takeaway here?
Thank you, and good morning to you. Well, obviously, this is the third year in a row that we're marking good profits and growth as well on the top line and bottom line. So it was definitely thanks to the recent mandatory health insurance imposed by the government of Dubai for all residents to have. And that really contributed to the growth of this company this year.
Well, every insurance CEO that I speak to tells me that they're in acquisition mode. This is a country, or a region for that matter, that is overinsured. We've got, 30 listed insurers, and you're looking at, 60 companies that are servicing this very small market. When is the talk going to translate into action?
Obviously, lots of cross-examination is taking place as well. We are in that phase as well, like everybody else. The thing is that so much comes into the equation because some are still waiting to get maybe a better price for that transaction to happen. Some others are waiting for things to start moving again. Some changes are happening at the board of directors in some companies, delaying the process. We did ourselves present a couple of offers, and last minute things did not, as you just mentioned. Lots of talk, still no action. We're looking closely now with even the insurance authority is helping us towards this as well.
So what kind of companies are you looking at in order to enhance your vision for Takaful Emarat?
We're looking to complement our offering. We currently have a health and life insurance. We're looking at, if we are to acquire, we will acquire a general insurance whereby we can offer the remaining part for a full-fledged one-stop solution for people, such as home insurance, car insurance, etc. So we are looking at a property and casualty, of course, acquisition.
Do you have a timeline for that?
The process has started. The board is very, very active towards this, and at any point in time, whenever it's there, we're ready to move.
Well, so what kind of budget do you have for your shopping spree?
Well, it all depends. You see, it all depends on the company itself. It all depends what are we inheriting. If we're inheriting liabilities in that company, if it has enough equity in it. So I don't think I'm in a position to answer exactly specifically. But again, it's subject to what are the financials of this targeted company.
Well, the first quarter is going to be interesting to look out for in terms of signs of a recovery, because again, the impact of the lower oil prices was really felt in the Q3, Q4 of 2016. How much of a recovery do you really expect in terms of your bottom line and in terms of your potential growth for 2017 and going forward?
Definitely, even though last year so much of complaints about the oil prices, etc., were there, we managed to have a tremendous growth of 47% on our bottom line, as well as a top line grown to almost more than $500 million, up from a 90 billion level 2 years ago. So 92 million, 2 years ago. So I don't imagine that we're gonna be much affected in our growth trajectory, because we are growing by double digits, irrespective now of the oil prices, due to the industry being revived again thanks to the new regulations.
Right, and your industry is very closely aligned to Islamic banking and the finance sector in general. How supportive will the environment be for your business this year? What are the challenges?
Honestly, I see lots of, not really challenges, more so of support. As you know, that the vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid has been that Dubai would be the Islamic finance, capital of Islamic finance. So it can only add to our growth pattern, since now banks are moving quickly towards this, as well as many financial institutions, Islamic financial institutions, are growing by leaps and bounds thanks to this vision and this encouragement and support from the government of Dubai.
Again, in our conversations with a lot of the CEOs here in Doha, there is an appetite for international expansion. We're hearing the same thing from executives across the Middle East. What's your position on going beyond borders?
We do have that in mind. The first thing, we're looking closely at the GCC, of course. We want to become a regional player within the coming years. I would imagine no more than 2 to 3 years. We should start seeing Takaful Emarat growing outside of the UAE. And then eventually we will start looking at international markets, as there is much demand growing now even in Europe, in Africa as well, for the Takaful offering due to a shortage of companies there.
Which countries are your first targets?
I would say, again, the GCC would be our first countries. You look at Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman. Saudi Arabia, of course, is the largest market, with almost half of the GCC, or 70% almost, of the Takaful production coming from Saudi Arabia.